Oh yeah, freak out, yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, and this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah, and I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar, yeah, the cream of the crop, dig it?
49er Minded.
It's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er Minded. 49er Minded. Appreciate it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A written goal session about our red gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions, let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how they spin in the spot. Call that back, call that crack, call that strip, fumble sack, or just dial it on up. If you wanna talk smack, it don't matter what the storyline, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind. 49er minded.
It's not just a thought process,
49er minded,
but a way of life. Bashar.
49er minded.
Way of life.
49er minded.
What is up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing great today on a wonderful Thursday. It's great to be back on my channel. I do a lot of guest spots, and I tend not to do so much on my channel, so I got to make a commitment to be on my channel more. I do have my new laptop running and got my new lights going, even got the new hoodie going. So yeah, let's see if anybody's in the chat just yet. If not, we'll say what's up to them later. And I got a great guest going on today. Let me just bring my guest on right now. It's Lawrence from Platform 246. How you doing, bro?
What is happening to you, Bashar, man? What's happening to the faithful? I'm doing really good, sir. Thank you very much. How you doing?
Doing wonderful, man. Just had dinner about an hour ago, so got a lot of energy right now. And I've been talking to you. What's that?
You don't have the itis?
What itis?
The itis when after you eat and you're immediately tired and sluggish.
Oh, I do get that from time to time. Not today though. I don't. Yeah, if it does kick in, it'll probably be a few hours from now. If it kicks in, it's probably like at 11 or something like that. You know what I mean?
For sure,
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. Yes, sir.
Great having you on. I've been talking to you a little bit back and forth on Instagram and on Twitter, and I know you've been on my Facebook group. And it's great to network with all the different kinds of 49er fans. And there's so many to keep up with too. There's always people that I encounter, but every now and then I pop the question like, hey, you know what? I'm looking to do a show tonight. Hey, you want to come on tonight? And it's great to have that in my back pocket. Just so much wonderful people to talk to and to network with. Let me say what's up to Grandizer 12. This guy's got a cool little avatar in reference to the Japanese anime and Grandizer. I don't know if people. It was really famous in Asia and the Middle East, but didn't really to take off in America. But I knew about it from some cousins of mine. They used to tell me about it. He says, yo, Bashar, we'll pull up in a minute. My Panthers content creators have great wide receivers. Oh, Steve Smith Sr. on the show. Oh, wow. That's cool, man. That's pretty
Shout
badass.
out to Grandizer, by the way. Bashar, that person, he's actually just come through my stream recently.
Okay, so yeah, I met him on the Camperman report with Ben Camperman. Yep. Really good dude. He had me on there, and then I ran into Grandizer on there. So, yeah, man. Appreciate you being in here. Yeah, Steve Smith, that's pretty badass for a content creator to have him as a guest. He's actually a 49er fan, too. He's from LA.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get started with Mr. Lawrence, Platform 246. Really quick, just tell everybody about your channel, and you know what? I need to link your channel in the content and description. I don't think I did that, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. Well, you go ahead and tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody about your channel. And let us know what you talk about on there.
Man, well, first of all, again, Bashar, thank you for having me on the channel here, man, on your channel. I've been watching you since the beginning. For me, the date specifically is June 8th. That's when I stepped off the porch of last year. So been about almost a year and a half now that I've been on YouTube, and I've been watching you the whole time. So thank you for being the inspiration. Sincerely, brother. Yeah, literally, there's a couple of you, handful of you. They're in the circle that we both know that really inspired me to even start my channel, and you are one of those ones, brother. So salute to you sincerely. And again, last year is when I started my channel, folks and faithful. Last June, It's been a hell of a ride. This YouTube game is a serious one, and there are a lot of 49er content creators, excellent content creators out there. So there's a lot of competition, I guess you could say too. But as you were alluding to earlier, I'm personally, I know you are too. A lot of people have been talking about it on Twitter and things like that lately. I mean, you can follow me on Twitter, folks, at Bam Bam LLD, BAM LLD. And Bashar, myself, and other 49ers content creators are just trying to get some more camaraderie, more collaboration, between us, because there's really a lot of infighting. But what I want to do on my channel besides try to collaborate with people like Bashar and others is I talk about Niners all the time. I'm a very, very, very passionate 49ers fan. I'm not very happy right now with the way that we're performing, but I'm also patient. It's a long season. It's a marathon. And then we also talk wrestling on my channel. So I live stream every single 49ers game, play by play and the like, BS in the comments with my folks and the faithful. And then we live stream pretty much every Monday Night Raw and every SmackDown that goes on and every WWE pay-per-view that takes place too. And then like right now, you can find anything on the platform. To be honest with you, I've covered everything from Will Smith slap to the Johnny Depp trial. And right now, there's another crazy trial going on right now. A guy named Dale Brooks. I've been thinking about really doing some videos for that. So the platform 246, folks, is for everything and for everybody. That's how I feel.
That was a spiel, man. I was taking notes on that one, man. you said something out there at the beginning that I forgot I was going to add to, something about how you've been watching me, and I'm not sure it was some other stuff too. I forgot what.
Oh yeah,
it was.
I've been watching you, man. You are an inspiration to me, Bashar. Sincerely, you were like one of the first few handfuls, and I don't know. I know we're all good together, but it's about you and I right now. So I won't throw any other names out until you start throwing out other names. But you and about a handful of other 49ers content creators really, and then the one name I can throw out is Grant. Uh, but it was more of a negative. More of a negative. He was my inspiration for my very first video. It was an F you to Grant. So him, just literally, I was in the. He finished the video, and I said, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. And I just picked up the phone and I just went. So that was my first video, and now I'm here with you. So yourself and a few other 49ers content creators that you do know really have been the biggest inspiration for me to start my channel. So I thank you, brother, and thank you for the seat tonight.
Thank you. I'm humbled by. I mean, I just do this for the fun of it, for the love of it, for the passion. Yep. And you were mentioning competition, all that. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of just competing with myself.
Yep. That's why. Yeah. Definitely.
For me, I just little by little try to get better and better. And as long as I'm having fun, do it. I can't complain about it. But so let's get started, man. Because obviously you're a big 49er fan, and let everybody know how you became a 49er fan, where you grew up. I believe you're not from the Bay Area, right?
No, sir. Unfortunately not. I haven't even got a chance to touch the town yet. That is on my before I die list. But I'm from Compton, California, originally. Right now, I'm sitting in Las Vegas, and my stuff is a little crooked. Right now, I'm sitting in Las Vegas, and that's where I live in Nevada here, or the home of the Faders. So, born and raised in California, more the LA area. And I became a 49 because I was born, basically. They were born in my soul, in my heart. There's no one else that I know, or I have a cousin, that likes the 49ers, literally. My family is not a big sports family. Like a lot of my folks that, yourself, I've seen pictures with you and things like, you celebrate with a few people, like my sons, because they both were birthed from me. They're the only 49er fans that I know. It was osmosis, man. When I was about 7 years old, 89, that was I just I didn't really know about Rice, Montana, like how great they were in '89. But that's when I started really watching football, and that was just the team that I just gravitated to. And literally everybody, everyone, my mother, probably everyone hates the 49ers. So salute to them. Salute to my family. I love you all. But yeah, I am a die-hard 49er fan, and it just happened, man. It was just meant to be. I was born in '82. About what was it, January 20, can't remember the exact day right now, but their first Super Bowl, I was born about 30 days later. So
oh wow, that's so cool.
We won a Super, and that's what I think about a lot since I was young. That the year that they won the first Super Bowl for the Niners, 1982, the '81 season, I was born 30 days later. You know what I mean? So it's meant to be.
That's awesome, man. So usually people have some type of influence from their family. My parents were into football. My brother got me into, God rest his soul. But yeah, we all have our own unique story. That's why I always try to, ask
I like
people, and
that.
because so I always make sure that people know. Do you remember what the first jersey you owned was, or
It was
first 49er
Rice.
jersey?
It was
Jerry
Rice.
Rice. Okay.
Yeah,
Around what
it was
time? What type of jersey do you remember?
14 years old. So it was if I'm not mistaken, it was those more red. I don't know, was it 14? I believe it might have been 14. Yeah, 14. So it was the deep red, silky one. So that was like the 96, 97 era. That was my
I
first
love
jersey.
that. I love those jerseys,
I
man. I
loved it
love.
too.
I,
I beat that
yeah.
jersey to death, Bashar. I beat it to
my
death.
Garrison Hurst jersey, my Garrison Hurst
Yep.
jersey was from the
Oh
same
God.
exact era, and my jersey wasn't stitched, but my jersey just did not last properly through the washer and dryer. Like
That's
most, like today's jerseys, they just last a whole lot better and they're a whole lot nicer. But yeah, it is what it is with jerseys, man. I'm looking to get some pretty good jerseys, some new jerseys coming up pretty soon.
me too.
So you said you never been to the base. I was going to ask you you've been to the Stick, but you never been to. Obviously, never been to Candlestick. Then, but have you
Oh God,
attended
I
any
wish I would have
Niner
went.
games or your first Niner games attended? Do you have any memories of that? If you've ever been to any, or
Never seen any Niners game. So I've only been to one football game in my life. And that was fortunately the Raiders and the Broncos about that circle that same time, 96, 97, 98. Took us, myself and my two younger brothers on a woke up one morning. He had a little surprise for us. Got some tickets. Blah blah blah. Took us on a plane flight to Oakland, from LA to Oakland, and then right back home to the game. So I got viciously sick on the airplane and saw the game that sucked between two teams I didn't want to have anything to do with. But I was very, happy that my pops did that for me. He knew how much he didn't like football. My father didn't like any sports at all, but he did that for me.
okay,
He
there you
like he
go, there
literally he
you
doesn't even know what sports are. All he knew
go.
was work. So
I got my dad
so
into football. Me and my brother got my dad into the NFL and all that, and basketball
cool.
as well. If it wasn't for us, he wouldn't have bothered watching either. What is up, President TV? What's up, man? How you guys? How you doing? I know I've been talking to you a little bit because I know you put out that little cool rap song, your little bang bang song. Says, "What's up, gentlemen? Stopping by to show some love. Hey, at 49er
Exactly.
Minded, thanks for showing me love on my new 49ers anthem song." Yeah, for those of you guys watching, check out President TV on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. He's got this cool little music video that he
Absolutely.
made. It's got really, really nice lyrics, man. Sit down and listen to the lyrics of the song. They make a lot of sense, and it's always great, having our fans in our 49er Empire community put out music.
Resident
We,
TV.
uh, yeah, like Perez. His last name's Perez. So like
Perez.
Perez, Mr.
I like
President.
that.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
And
Thanks for
Niner
watching, man.
Gang.
There you go. Yeah, man. I mean,
I'll
I've
definitely
had
check
all.
it out.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's got a cool little song on there. So have you ever met any 49er players by any chance? I mean, any experiences with that?
No, a lot of the people that my fellow content creators like yourself, you get a lot of stories like that. I see a lot of stories like that, or even just pictures of you guys standing next to really fucking Jerry Rice, excuse my French, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's just jealousy. No, I've never had a chance to meet any, Niner players. Really, I don't think I've never met any football player. To be honest with you, it doesn't happen as much as you might think in LA. In other cities and things like that, you meet more stars, honestly, in smaller towns or smaller cities. But in LA, you don't run into them too much unless you go to centralized areas. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I used to live in Southern California at one point too. I didn't meet any 49er players when I lived out there. So I was over.
You know what I mean?
I was over. The only NFL player I did meet out there was freaking
Oh,
that dude that used to play for the Rams. What's his name? That big offensive lineman, Jackie Slater. Because I used to
Jackie
work at
Slater.
I
Wow.
used to work at Toyota dealership, and he used to always come there to get his Land Cruiser service. So I'd seen him there at least 4 or 5
Land
times, and
Cruiser.
big, huge. He looked like he could still play when I met him.
I
I met him
bet
for a second. I just said what's up to him. What up, Panama Queen? How you doing? She says,
he was
"Hey,
enormous
Bash."
though.
Great supporter of the 49er content creators and a huge 49er fan. She really knows her football. Awesome person, Panama Queen,
Shout out
over
to
on
you,
the
Miss
East
Queen.
Coast, in the East Coast, and
From the East
Jersey, I
Coast. On
believe,
top
in
of that,
the Jersey, Philly area, somewhere around there. I think she's over in South Jersey in the Philly border. So what's up, Somi? Says, go Saints tonight. There you go. Yeah, I forgot Thursday my football's on. I didn't even
I
bother to
know,
check the
right?
score.
Because of that whole prime thing, man, it just throws you off.
Oh, and we got a question here from the chat. Per Resident TV says, "Is Lawrence going to the Rams game next week? I'll be there." Okay.
Uh, so uh, Appreciate the question, homie. But I'm actually in Vegas. Unfortunately, I moved out of Compton in LA about 6 years ago. So I rep the gang from Las Vegas. So I won't be there. You might catch me at the Raider Niner game though. I'm trying to work that out on
Oh yeah, there
New
you
Year's
go. Well, yeah,
Day.
we're playing out there.
You might
I had that
you
on my
might catch
list,
me there.
but when they scheduled that game on New Year's
Yeah, I
weekend, I'm not
circled it
gonna
right
lie,
away, bruh.
it scared me away with the crazy ticket prices and all the
That's the thing.
just. I wish they just did it on a regular weekend.
Yeah,
Hotel
first.
costs and ticket prices would have been normal, but
It's
they
not,
had to do
folks.
it to us.
The
They had to
weekend,
do it to
regardless
us.
of being the first of the year, let me tell you, do not try to go to the casinos on the week. You can, but don't try to go to the casinos on the weekend. It's Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday.
I was gonna say Mariah and TL are from Vegas too. They do their little podcast out of
Oh,
Vegas too.
Mariah. Yeah, I've been watching Miss Mariah.
49 Faithfully podcast. They're a great podcast. I always watch them. Check them out.
I didn't know they were in
Um,
Vegas.
Oh yeah, they sure are. Yeah, I wish I could have gone. I hate the Raiders. I wish I could have gone to that game, and I wish I could to the Raiders game. I wish I could go to the one against the Rams too. I'm just not able to make it to either game. So let me ask you this, because I always throw this little curveball out before we get into the pizza. Sorry, I said pizza. Before we get to the football talk, it is about pizza actually, because I like to say nothing goes better with football than pizza, and a lot of people have their preferences.
For sure.
Actually, Vegas has a lot of spots opened up from New York transplants. I'm pretty familiar with that because I've done a lot of research and I've been to Vegas multiple times. I've had some of the pizza out there, but what's your preference? Because some people love New York style. Some people want like the Chicago deep dish. Some people like the Detroit style, which is kind of like a Sicilian, or some people just like that Pizza Hut, Papa John's round table stuff. So like when when somebody says, "Hey, let's get some pizza," what's the best place you have in mind, or best type of pizza that you have in mind?
I put my glasses on just so y'all can hear me clear. Domino's, motherfucker, like they say. Domino's. No, that's it. You want to get some pizza? I just want some Domino's. I don't want any specific pizza type. I want a Domino's hand tossed pizza with a lot of garlic on it. A lot of that garlic sauce they put on it, and double pepperoni. That's all I need.
Yeah, I
I'm a
love
simple
me some
man.
pepperoni.
I'm a
Yeah,
simple
love
man,
the
but I'm
garlic
also
too.
very complicated.
So let's talk about this thing with the 49ers injury woes, because that's what I put as the title of the video. Obviously, we lost to the Atlanta Falcons, and it was pretty nerve wracking. We were pretty just weird battle. Just a lot of our players weren't there. I mean, and then it's always next man up, but when it's like third string and fourth string, that's your next man up. I mean, what can you do in those regards? I mean, sure, you don't want to use that as an excuse, but we have injuries like we had injuries like no tomorrow in that game, and it just sucked. I mean, what's your whole take on the 49? We kind of discussed this on the NWO podcast, but we could kind of bring up the same points that you brought up there for those that missed it on the NWO podcast, and just your whole thought in general about the 49ers injury process, and if you think anybody is to blame, go right ahead.
Appreciate, man. It's a great question, of course, and I think that's probably our biggest question on the team outside of we all know what. But it's just horrible, man. There has to be something to it. Over this week, at first, like I said, I'm emotional. I'm Pisces, so I'm emotional as it is. All right, I'm even more emotional about the 49ers and my kids. All right, so when the shit hits the fan and the injuries start to roll like they have for us for the last 5 years, I wonder why. Immediately, I want to blame somebody, and immediately I want to blame Kyle. All right. But then, as I start to, as the older gentleman in me starts to come out, I start to breathe a little bit and calm down, assess the situation. I'm like, you can't really, and even looking on Twitter, Twitter is a real place, faithful, by the way. Like I said that this past, Twitter is a real place. That's not just the internet. So when I see it on Twitter, people saying you can't blame Kyle, you can't blame anyone for what a grown man does to himself, accidentally or otherwise. I'm a firm believer in a man has to take care of himself. You know what I mean? So, uh, you can't. Okay, so I'm glad you brought it up. I have a stat I wanted to bring out that I saw today again on Twitter.
It's
This is
probably the
just
same thing I was. That's probably the same thing I was going to bring up. But go ahead.
is it well if you have it set for something, but let me hold off on it. The hardball era thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the difference.
Let me share my screen, and you can talk
Oh,
about
well,
it.
then
Hang
put it
on.
up. Yes, okay. Then
Yeah, I'll
yeah, I
share my
appreciate
screen.
you.
There you go. We're on
So
the same wavelength with this one.
wavelength, brother, the Niner gang. You know what it is.
Here, okay. So I'm gonna.
It just
There
when I
you go.
saw it, it
I
blew
got on
me
my
out the
screen right
water.
now. Do you guys see it? You guys see it right
There it
now?
go. There it go. Blew
Let me just.
me out the water. I was like, all right, so riddle him this. Shout out to Batman. During the Harbaugh era, these are the amount of games missed and or played that were allowed, basically, by or would have been able to play for each individual person. One of our top players, one of my favorite players ever, Frank Gore, 60. Well, we know he didn't miss a game. He didn't start, slipping until he got into the boxing ring. Brandon Davis, surprisingly, look
Don't
at
bring
that,
up that
faithful.
boxing match again, man.
I know. Okay, I apologize, faithful. Brandon Davis, 61 out of 64 games. I actually personally thought, honestly, Bashar, that he had missed more games than that, man. But Joe Staley, Iron, Justin Smith, Cowboy, just missed 2 games. These Patrick Willis, okay, and then you get the difference between he got that bad toe injury, which I guess helped to lead to the end of his career overall. Prior to that, he had only missed 5 games in 3 years. Dante Whitner, hard hitter, short. Deshaun Goldson, another hard hitter. Why weren't these players? And if you look at the players, it's not talking about the equivalent to Brunskill right now to that time frame. I can't think off the top of my head. These are our superstars,
Oh
just
yeah.
like right now.
And I
Right
think the
now, we're
only
not missing our
time, the
third
only
stringers.
time, though, and on the bottom, Nick Newman, that's the guy who tweeted that. I said, "Why can't Shanahan's players stay healthy?" Great question on his part. We get that, and the injury that really, the two of the injuries that hurt us pretty bad too. The NFC Championship game, remember, against Seattle.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, they had a pretty good streak of not getting injured, but it was like Yapati got hurt in that game, and Nick and Navarro
Oh
Bowman
man, Mike Capaldi was so
got
good.
hurt in that game as well. So, oh yeah, Grandizer's back. He said the Steve Smith injury is over. Hey, thank you for coming back. We appreciate it. I don't blame you for
Appreciate it.
watching a live Steve Smith interview. That's pretty badass.
On
That
the
somebody
real, yeah.
get
Shout
him
out
on
to
their
them.
channel. Yeah, whoever got him on their channel, shout out to that guy. But yeah, I mean, it's very nerve wracking with all this injury stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm almost thinking if Kyle and John really want to save their asses, and if they're as tired as this shit that we obviously are, and and if we want to go back to the Trey Lance thing, that could have been prevented. I mean, as much as I want to say I like Shanahan and I love what he
Yeah.
does and blah 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 blah, he's not perfect. And he messed up big time the way he ran Trey Lance into the ground. I was at that game too, man. And so it's like, but at the end of the day, I mean, other injuries aren't his fault. I get it. But hey, we hired this like sports science staff that deals with hockey, that dealt with hockey players.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry. It was a cute idea. It sounded good in the beginning, but guess what? It's not working. So you know what? You might want to toss that idea out the window. That's what I think. That after that, once the season's over.
How many hockey staff? How many? First of all, what the fuck are we doing hiring a hockey staff to come take care of our football players? But secondly, how many times have we changed sports staff
Yeah, we
during their
changed it a few
regime?
times. We
At
changed
least
it.
maybe three times in
In
five
this
years,
regime, and this regime, I think it was once though, wasn't it? Well, I know we last changed
or
in
did they just
2019,
fire?
right?
Yeah, they just fired
Yeah,
the previous one, the incumbent one,
they
maybe.
may have hired one of their own in 2017 when they came in, or they may have one
And
with the
then
one Kelly
okay,
already had. I'm not sure. I'd have to go
okay.
back and research that. But either way, if it's not working, it's not working. You know,
Correct. It's not working. The hill, like the things that they've done that just felt like they were just a complete waste to me. Which for one is changing staffs at this point because it seems like we've gotten worse over the years since they've changed the staff. Whoever it was, decision to put that fucking hill on the stadium back in the day, like they were recreating Jerry Rice, but on the field. I don't know what the point of that
that
was.
was during the Singletary era when they brought that hill in. I don't think it's there anymore. I think they may have taken
It's
it
gone,
out.
yeah, but it
Yeah.
was during Kyle. It was during the time that Kyle was here that Jimmy Ward and players like that were getting injured on that hill. Uh, I doubt I'm wrong about that, Bashar. I'm pretty sure maybe it could have been in there before that, but they literally had the players working on those things, and whether it was Kyle's regime or even the regime before, why do we have
It was
as a
Singletary
team?
who brought
It
it
was
in. It was
Singletary.
Singletary who brought it. Yeah, because I was at the practice when they had it. I remember seeing
Oh
it.
Lord, look at you. You were at the practice. Things that saying
Yeah,
things like
I've definitely been to practices. Not recently,
saying
but I
things
have.
like that really they warm my soul for you and hurt my soul for me. One day, my mistake. My point is, we've had a long history of injuries all through Cal. Um, we didn't have that same, history of injuries with Harbaugh that's been, circulating today. What what can we glean from that other than there has to be a difference in people? I can't remember a time where we had, and especially with stars. These are not our the people that are already our gunners on special teams or our third string players. These are how many potential Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, right now in the moment. Don't even include Trey. Future Hall of Famers possibly in the moment right now are on the injury list, on the long term injury list, or coming off the long term injury list. And that I've never seen this before. So I'm looking for answers
Yeah,
because
and
it,
if
it
we're
matters.
yeah,
We lost
oh
this
yeah.
game last week because of injuries. I believe that.
Good news is that Bosa practiced. I believe he practiced yesterday and today. Saw
Yes,
some
sir. Both
videos of
days.
it, and I heard that Hufanga is no longer in
Correct.
concussion protocol, and he's cleared. So
Yep.
hopefully that's good. Yeah, so that's I'm not sure who else we might be expecting back, but
Right.
hey, having Bosa come back would be huge because obviously I love what I saw with Drake Jackson and Samson Ibukam working with Bosa, but we all know Bosa is the guy right now, and it just pissed me
Absolutely.
off not having him for that Falcons game. But I thought others would step up, and we didn't expect that debacle in Atlanta like we had it. That was pretty irritating to say the least.
It
Yeah,
was a
so
hard game to watch.
hopefully going into this Chiefs game, knock on wood, I'm actually knocking on wood, we don't suffer any crazy injuries anymore, and all this BS with injuries for the season, it comes to a standstill, and we can just have a regular season from here on out. That would be nice. Supposedly, I heard something. They asked Trent Williams when he's coming
Yeah.
back, and he said something about, "Oh, you have to ask Shanahan, ask the coach that." I'm not
That's
sure
what
if
he's.
that means that. I'm not sure if that means he's on the fence about coming back, or he's kind of getting there. Um,
What I took
and
from
so,
it. I'm sorry about that. But
okay.
that was actually just today. I saw the same thing that you did, and he said that he wants to come back and he wants to play. But then he right after that, you said he added a caveat basically, but you have to ask coach about that. And from
Yeah.
what I saw in Kyle's press conference yesterday, he said that he was limited in practice. He was going to be that way this week. But most reports that I've seen throughout the week, people are tending to believe that they're leaning towards getting him to play this week. It's probably going to be like a game time decision thing. I don't think any of us will know prior to the game.
Yeah, and in general, the offensive line, for as much as they were being scrutinized before the
Yep.
season started, I
Shout out
think
to
the
the
offensive
offensive line.
I think the offensive line has been doing pretty damn good right now. Not saying that they're a top offensive line in the league, but
Yes,
considering
sir.
the fact that you have all these inexperienced guys who we had to form a completely brand new unit
Hmm.
this damn off season. People don't understand how difficult it is. It's not like offensive line can just plug and play. Oh, put this guy in. We think this guy might be good here. These guys got to play together as a unit. People don't understand how important the cohesion of offensive line is. So it was this major question going to the season, and people were freaking out in that Texans preseason game because things were looking terrible. And people freaked out even more when Trent Williams went down, this beast of a left tackle that we have, and McKivitz comes in. He's a backup, and we've seen play a little bit here and there. And he did okay, but then he got hurt, and then people were freaking out even more when Jalen Moore
Jalen
went in
Moore.
there because nobody was high on Jalen Moore. People were just like,
No
"This guy
one.
sucks. He's terrible," but he's doing a lot better. He's actually a pretty good run blocker, and his pass protection, with these extended reps that he's getting, is
Right.
improving. He's not as bad as people would assume. I mean, people were expecting the worst out of this guy, so I'm okay with the offensive line. Even without Williams, I'll be honest, but I'd love to have Williams in there. But
Yeah.
let's talk about this upcoming game against the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Anything on your mind first to top it off to talk about these Chiefs? Otherwise, I could start it off.
Well, Niner Ganger don't bang, first and foremost, on the Chiefs. Okay. I can't stand them. I can't stand the name. Uh, again, I talk a lot of wrestling on my channel. There's a wrestler that I also kind of like can't stand his character. And that's what his character's supposed to be. The
Who
SOB
who
is a
who, who are you referring to?
it's Baron Corbin. Sorry
Oh,
ass,
okay.
lame ass, dorky ass, whack ass Baron Corbin. And then on top of that, he's like a die-hard Chiefs fan. So you know what image is burned in my head is Instagram. J- February 2020, late night on the evening, pissed off. I mean, running to Baron Corbin, going like this from like the fourth row behind the goal line, just a cheese and happy and tagging the Usos, who are very, 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 very big 49ers
The Usos
fans.
are big Niner fans. Are the sons of Rikishi. For if you got for
Yeah,
those of
Sons
you
of
that
Ricky.
remember Rikishi, they're huge Niner fans. Yeah.
I do need to get a belt, by the way. So man, shout out to you. But yes, and hello to. By the way, I'm sorry, Miss Queen. Earlier, I saw she said hello to me. Hello, Miss. Shout out,
Okay.
nice to have a queen in the building. And yes, sir, I do need to get a belt. I used to have one. My ex-wife bought me one.
Okay, so next time you
But yeah,
come on here with your wrestling. We're gonna talk a little bit of wrestling later. We're gonna stick to the Chiefs really quick. Let me say what's
yes,
up to John V from Ohio from the
uh,
Locker Room Rant. Check out his YouTube channel. He has a great YouTube channel with his best friends. One's a Bills fan, one's a Browns fan, and they're always
yeah,
yelling and screaming and cussing at each other and saying whose team's better. And it's just a whole lot of fun. I've been on there as a guest, and I love those guys. Love the
sounds
show.
fun.
John V, he's awesome, man. Um, yeah, Grandizer says stop the tomahawk chop. Yes, that's what we got to do. Actually, it's funny because my high school that I went to is the Chieftains, who are the Chiefs too. So we used to do that tomahawk stuff, but
Cut that
that's
crap
over with.
out.
I'm not playing them for the. I'm a Niner,
Hmm.
definitely not a Chief.
Not again.
Yeah, but I mean, this is going to be an interesting
Good to see you,
game
John.
because obviously people say, hey, we had the number one defense, and I sure for the most part I agree with that, but it did not look like the number one defense against Atlanta. It looked like hot garbage at points in times, and we were letting freaking Mariota have his way against us.
Oh,
Not that
man.
he looked like Joe Montana or anything, but I think he at one point he was 12 for 12 or 13 for
Yeah,
13 against us, and he would every time he back up to drop back for a pass. If he didn't see something
complete.
that he liked, he would just run for it. And then
Just run.
I was like, man, I wish we had Trey Lance to do that to other teams, man. I just grit my teeth. Like, I can't wait for next season. But speaking of which, we're facing a quarterback who can not only do that, but do it completely better. And he can only throw 10 times better than Mariota, arguably the best quarterback in the league, Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league if your name is Josh Allen, arguably. He's got 17 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a 105 QB rating. He embarrassed us in that fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, which sucked. And yeah, our number one defense, we have excellent pass defense rating, like 79 rating.
Yeah.
We give it 4 touchdowns, 5 INTs. But what do you think, man? I mean, we're going up against this high-powered offense in the Kansas City Chiefs.
I think D'Amico has to really be in his bag. And we can't miss. First of all, no one can get injured in this game. Okay, literally, no one on the defense I think can get injured in this game. I think that we have to keep the ball away from them. Also, some of that we need to probably knock out 3 or 4 drives for them. Cal, real quick, Cal, if you're listening, if you're watching, that 8-minute drive you pulled out in the fourth quarter when we were down 14 points. I hope you have some of that. That's going to work for Kansas City because we need to keep them off the field. We do have the number one defense in the NFL. It's Bosa, if he does play, he's coming off injury. It's also a young defense. Uh, Jason Verrett, if he gets to get into the game, he's coming off injury. So while it's an outstanding defense, we saw how it looked last week. If it is improved at all, how much more improved will it be, and how much different is the offense that we're about to face being improvement over the offense over Mariota and Kyle Pitts, basically. So I think either we could keep them. It's really going to be 50-50. I don't think they'll be able to be in between. Either we will keep that offense down all game, or we're going to have to get in a shootout with them. I really don't see it going any other way. And if I had to guess, we the most important thing this Sunday is not our defense, it's our offense. Our defense is going to come to play one way or the other. Patrick will make mistakes. Patrick will do wild and crazy things. And D'Amico's an outstanding coach, and we have outstanding players on the defensive end. Um, I think our defense is going to come to the game, whether they give up 28 points or 30 points or not. I think our defense is still going to come to the game. They're going to make plays. It's just going to be whether or not our offense can do the same. But as we saw, if our defense is anywhere what it needs to be, we saw what Buffalo just did to them, keeping them right around the 20-point range. And Buffalo's defense, wants to be in contention with ours. They're probably the number 2 defense in the league. So, like I said, we could. I think there's a good chance if people are healthy, and we continue that throughout the game. that we can play with them. We can hang with them. But our offense is the team is the side of the team needs to come to play, in my opinion.
Definitely. I mean that Chiefs team isn't. And obviously, we do have a number one defense, but I believe they're number one. The Chiefs' offense is number one in scoring points.
I believe
And
so.
then we no longer have to worry about the Tyreek Hill, but we still have to worry about Kelsey. Obviously, Juju
He's a beast.
Schuster. Oh yeah, and we're not going to have Mooney Ward, which sucks because he's a former Chief and he's been
Right.
playing as good as
Lights
any
out.
quarterback
Yeah.
corner has played for the Niners since Deion Sanders.
I
So
agree.
which totally sucks not having him around. But Bosa's coming back, like we mentioned. We're probably going to see Hufanga back. I think Jimmy Ward might be back in the equation. The other Ward. I was hearing some rumbles about that. So that's a possibility. So, and Gibson, the other safety, is looking really nice so far this year. Yeah. So Lenore, for the most part, has been playing good. Playing well. And let me see what's up to 49er First Takes. It said, "What's up, fellas? How you doing?" And John V earlier said, "Lauren's good to see you." 49er First Takes, check him out. Subscribe to his channel. We do our NWO Niner World Order collaborations every Mondays on there. And Somi was telling me that that was
13 out of 13.
Going 13 for 13. Yeah, he was
Yes,
just.
he was. And then he missed the last one, and he didn't throw again. He was 13 out of 14, I believe, at the end of the game. He missed the last pass and never threw again.
All this was happening on the opposite. All this was happening on the opposite side of the ball. Yet 49er fans, we only have 14 points on the board. To this day, they're still tweeting out Jimmy's throwing dimes, quote unquote. It's like they're celebrating all this. They keep celebrating mediocrity, and I don't get it. I hate to bring it up, but it just kills me that I always have to think about it. It's always in the back of my head.
It's injuries and James. I don't care what Kyle too, because he's an arrogant son of a bitch. And he's hard headed than a mother. You would think he was black. Okay, Kyle. Seriously, but
he named his son after Little Wayne.
Trust me, I do that. I do that as another joke. I don't know how people feel that about that, but Kyle thinks he's black a little bit. There's a little bit of black in Kyle. He's a nigga on some. Excuse me. On some fronts, he is. But so yeah. So, but my man, when you see what we went through this weekend, the same thing is going to happen. Okay, he wasn't throwing any dimes. Maybe he was throwing nickels. Maybe he threw some nickels. I don't know about dimes.
Like the one went to Ray. I kept hearing it was a dime, and I missed that play live. I finally saw that play. That was not a dime. He hella had to stretch out for it. Even if he stretched out, he still wouldn't have gotten it. He had to kick in like the afterburners like crazy to make an amazing highlight on that play. How was that a dime? I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
No, look, I'm sorry, brother. That my mood just dropped. Look. So I had this. It's so frustrating. I got to be honest with you, and it's frustrating from fans too, because we all don't feel the same way. But I want us all to. We're all really just supposed to be Niners. And two, my point is, and the reason why, let me say to anybody watching, whether you see Bashar's stream right now live or you catch it later, the reason why the majority of us are starting to and have started and do and will never not dislike him as much as we do now is because of how much you like him and push him to everybody else and push him on the world, saying he did things that he didn't do. We're all because we all see and feel one way and really see the truth. And then there's so many faithful that say, well, he was throwing dimes. No, he wasn't. He was throwing pennies. And if he would have, he had stretched out like that because
they're like Chuck E. Cheese tokens, man.
Yeah, there you go, bro. He's throwing Chuck E. Cheese tokens. He ain't throwing any dimes. You know what I'm saying? Not any that I've ever seen. I've never seen a copper dime. I don't know what dime you're talking about that he could have possibly been throwing. He threw one dime in that game, and it was caught.
The one to Warner was a good pass, but Warner
messed
up.
I'm sorry. Warner was.
Warner messed up.
I'll give him two. Warner messed up that one because it was in Warner's. It was like necessary roughness when they threw the football into the guy's helmet. It was like it was right there for you, bro. You just can't catch. But then the other one to Ayuk, he caught it, but I guess the center, I think we were all sides at that time.
I heard Brunskill had a few mess ups. Let me see what's up to Tony. Right here is Tony for the locker room rant. Awesome guy, just amazing guy. Him, John V and Nick. They're just awesome dudes. I said, Bashar, my dude, Tony from the rant here, brother. Love the show. Love you, my dude, man. Great guy, man. Tony's awesome. I call him the voice of reason on that show because John V and Nick are always at each other's throats, and then you see Tony in there with that calm National Public Radio voice. Come on, guys. We got to stick to the topic. You guys are crossing up names here on the show. We don't do that here. So, shout out to Tony. I'm doing a little impression.
You got the
Tony.
late night voice.
He's always the voice of reason on that show. And he said, do the gritty real quick. I can't do the gritty, man. I might have to put in work, some practice, and watch.
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh, he could. Oh, you were about to do it.
my old back gave out. Sorry about that.
I'm do the Cabbage Patch, but
my back gave out.
That's Jerry Rice's old touchdown dance, the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah, the Cabbage Patch, because he was kind of dorky. He was a good football player ever, but he was kind of dorky. He still is. Shout out to you, Jerry Rice. Much love, brother.
I don't want to talk about Jimmy too much, but at the end of the day, our offense is 19th in points and 18 in yards, and so let's not sit and I shouldn't be getting people tweeting me and going into my chats or DMing me, because this is all three have happened, and people tagging me on a million tweets and saying, "Oh, how come you're not giving Jimmy G props? How come you're not giving Jimmy G props? How come I'm not giving Jimmy G props? Is because our offense is not putting up points on the damn fucking scoreboard. Our defense is carrying the living fuck out of this team, and until we blow out teams on a regular basis or blow out a good team, that Carolina Panthers bullshit that doesn't fly with me. I'm sorry. They're a sorry ass team in shambles.
The
moment we beat their asses down, they fired their fucking head coach. So it's like don't make me celebrate. Don't tell me to celebrate Jimmy G when we beat a team that's completely in shambles. Let me see us now if he does it against some good teams and he shows me more, and where it shows me that this offense can actually score points and not rely solely on the run game all the time, where the dominant defense all the time, sure. But 18th in the league in what? 18th in the league in scoring, 19th in the league in scoring, and 18th in the league in yards for an offense. It doesn't cut it for me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
Disgusting, Faithful.
Yeah, with all the playmakers we have too, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo.
Look at BA getting spicy this weekend. He was getting nasty, but nobody can't get the ball to him anything further than 4 yards from the line of scrimmage. So what the hell is that? I mean, when you get 8 catches and you got 86 fucking yards, come on, man.
All right, got a guest here. She's not a 49er fan, but she's supporting the channel. Cool girl. Cynthia says, "Hey, 49ers, stop by to hit that like. Really, really appreciate it all day. Thank you."
Why not?
I think she's a Raider fan, but it's okay. We play you guys later in the year, and New Year's weekend or something, so that's way far down the line. So I'm not worried about that right now. We got our own problems that we have to deal with, all these stupid injuries and this Chiefs team that we're gonna have to face this weekend. So again, as far as the offense goes, stick to the run game. Let's make the run game a consistency like we normally do. We went away from it after we put up those 14 points. We went away from it, and I'm not saying Jeff Wilson Jr. is his bell cow, because I don't want to see him being played like the bell cow, but get the other running backs involved, and let's do something different than what we did in Atlanta. What do you think?
Well, I think Cal's lack of trust in anybody. I don't know how to really quantify who Kyle does trust. He trusts people who just look like Nick Bosa from snap one, when he doesn't have any thing other than James or George. These players, I guess they obviously, George was a 5th round pick, but all the rest of the players, the wide receivers that we have, the running backs that we've drafted, Jordan Mason, everybody's screaming for Jordan Mason. We don't even know what the hell he can do. Same thing for Denny Gray. Is he injured? Is he in Kyle's doghouse? And we know he does that to people. Or you can't block, or you're not. Like, this is some bull. I'm sorry. You need to play these players because we're losing. And because Ray McLeod was available to you and is known as a special teamer because he's sorry. Because he's not a good wide receiver. Because he can make a play or two here and there, but he's not a world beater. Jeff Wilson is Jeff Wilson because he's Jeff Wilson. Yes, we all love Jeff Wilson.
He's as plain as his name is, as his name suggests.
He's plain as his damn name. And I'm a junior, so it's no disrespect, homie, but Jeff Wilson is Jeff Wilson, man. Yes, when he runs that 31-yard run, or when he cuts the Texas route on Arizona, and when he's Jeff Wilson Jr. and he's in the dark place, that's so lame. When he's in the dark place and all that stuff, okay, great, yeah. But he's the other 20 carries of the game, he's Jeff Wilson. He's fumbling. He's on the verge of being injured. He's 2 yards in a cloud of dust. So
Oh yeah.
what's up with Jordan Mason
He's effective. He's effective in certain spurts, but you don't get a full four quarters out
no,
of Jeff Wilson Jr. You just
never.
don't. Let me see what's up to my fellow content creator slash fellow, this amazing friend of mine from the Candlestick Park days, tailgates. Great dude. Him and his father. Shout out to Pops if you're watching. 49er Tone. Great guy. Haven't seen this guy in a minute. I need to say what's up to him.
Absolutely.
Says Shanny needs to stop
Shout out
getting
to
away
49
from the.
Tone.
We're talking about the offense. This makes perfect sense. So Shanny needs to stop getting away from the run game. I'm tired of Wilson being the every down back. Exactly. We got young guys too with speed. Shanny mix it up. Exactly. Like you mentioned, Jordan Mason. And then he said, so-called offensive genius and Shanny, but we are in year 6 and we still have QB issues and the offense issues crazy. Exactamundo. I mean, as much as we've liked Shanahan for certain success that we've had with
Right.
this team, I get it. The coach does get some credit for success, but you're not going to get credit. We're going to criticize you as well if our offense isn't what it needs to be. And we got some, like I mentioned earlier, playmakers. We got playmakers on the squad that other
Real
teams
playmakers.
would salivate for. I
Hell yeah.
mean, other teams would love to have Ayuk. Other teams would love
Ayuk.
to have
Yeah.
Debo. They'd love to have Kittle. And what are we doing with them?
Please. If Ayuk was playing for Andy Reid or playing up there in Buffalo and Ken Dorsey in that offense or something,
And
or
Frank
playing
Reich,
or playing for our head our previous offensive
Tomlin.
coordinator.
Imagine
Yeah,
Debo
he's up there playing.
and
Yeah,
Ayuk under Tomlin.
please. They would be top players in the league. Brandon
Don't
Ayuk,
don't
I
make don't
really
make
feel.
me say Mike McDaniel. Don't make me say Mike
That's what I was trying
McDaniel.
to get out of my mouth. What if Brandon Ayuk was up there in Miami with Mike McDaniel? It would be ridiculous. But of course, Kyle got it running 3 yards and in cutting because his quarterback is still going to throw that pass 6'7" into the air when Brandon is 6 feet flat. So I don't know what do they want us to do? What do they as an offense? That's why we can't score points. That's why I mean, Brandon Ayuk, and I'm a stat dude. I'm an old Madden since the first Madden. I want my players to have stats. Jerry Rice was killing everything. His stats and Terrell Owens killed everything. Like our players can't crack 1,000 yards. We can't get 1,000 yard rusher. Debo went buck wild last year, but that's only because we had no other options. And Brandon Ayuk missed half the season because of Kyle. So and George is paid, fat, and really in love with his wife, and more in love with wrestling than I am. So he's ineffective, and that's hard to do because I like wrestling. So
We're gonna talk
I'm
about
just
wrestling more.
I'm not gonna get on it even right now, but I'm just saying, George is ineffective for the last 2.5 years, in my opinion, personally. So we're stuck in where we are, 19th ranked offense and points in the league. Just
Yes,
worse than
it's not
mediocre,
fun.
but
Let,
not
let me
even
see what's up
average.
to some other people that trickled in. Here we go. It's where's it? 49 Tone said this. That's why he said follow up. He said thanks for the love, my brother. I'm at work watching. Okay, we appreciate you. Shout out to both of y'all. Since it's a
Thank you,
2012
sir.
reunion this weekend, would you rather have Shanahan,
Sincerely.
Harbaugh, or Shanahan? I'm a little iffy because the one thing about that Harbaugh did that still pisses me off till this day was that he tore down like pictures of all the legends and all the legendary Super Bowl teams that were hanging up in the locker room.
He
So it's like,
did.
hold up. Did you check with Joe Montana, see if that was okay? Did you check with Steve Young, Jay Rice, Ryan Lott? Did you ask those guys if they would be okay with you taking down all those pictures of all this legacy that we've had for this team that we built up from the days of Candlestick? Like, I don't know, little things like that kind of got under my skin with Harbaugh, but we were very successful with him. He definitely got the team up to play at a certain level. And sure, I mean, it's not my choice, but in some ways I kind of would rather have Harbaugh than Shanahan, but it's almost like a teeter-totter with that one, It's kind of weird. What about you? What do you think?
For even though I know both, and I've been married twice, so I'm equated to that. I'm no longer married to either one, which might need to be what the case is in San Francisco land, on Mrs. DeBartolo Lane. But I'll say this. So I'm gonna mess with the devil that I currently know, probably, and it's really only because how much I now have grown to have a dislike for the first devil. Reason why is because we like the 49ers here, you and I, but you got to play for you usually, well, definitely in this case in football, you got to play for somebody else before you get to the league, right? So my team is OH, Buckeye Nation, Ohio State. He's the head coach of Michigan, so fuck you, John Harbaugh. for life until you look for life. For life. He coaches Michigan and he went to Michigan. So I really dislike him, to be honest with you. So at this
Well,
point in my life,
who's your college team again?
oh, not
Oh, okay.
the Ohio State Buckeyes. Holla if you hear me. So sorry,
So you must be a big Bosa fan, and you probably
Captain
wanted
James
Justin
Sweat.
Fields, right?
Man, I wanted so I sat here with my kids and we were like, which one do we want? Which one do we want? But when they took Trey, it felt right. My son's name is Trey. He just spells it correctly. There's no Y on the end of it. So, but yeah, I was a big Bosa fan. Every person that we've taken from Ohio State, I was hoping they were going to hit all the way back to Ted Ginn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when we get someone from
Take
Ohio
Ginn
State,
did a few good
he
things.
did he did good for us, right? He did. He, you
And
know,
we had
something.
Whitner from Ohio
And
State.
Whitner, Dante Whitney, he came from Cleveland. He went to Cleveland, right? So then he ended up coming to us, but he did play for Ohio State, and I watched him at Ohio State. So I've been watching Ohio State as long as I've been watching the Niners, pretty much, literally. So
Okay.
yeah, that's my team. And now that Harbaugh not only went there, but coaches there, we don't get along.
So shout out to Niner by Nature 88, great dude.
Shout out to Niner. Much
Awesome guy on
love.
Twitter and a great
Much
supporter
love.
of a lot of
Great
the content
supporter.
creators. Says beautiful collab
Excellent.
100. Thank you very much. Says sack the like button, hit the like button. And for those of
Hit
you,
that like button, please.
little
Most of the like button.
PSA. I got a little readout on my YouTube analytical data. 50% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel, so let's try to fix that a little bit. Just
Please
says subscribe
do.
to 49er Mind, and you can follow me on my other social media. It's all there.
I got to start checking that stuff.
Look who's here, John Lynch. She says, "What's good?" It's a cool Jay in the bed.
Let me talk to you, Mr. Lynch.
That's my boy
got a
John
few
Lynch
things
from
that-
Twitter. Over in the Pacific Northwest, really good dude. And 49er Tone's a Stanford Cardinal guy. He loves him so hard. But
Okay.
I remember that
Respect
very well.
for that. He did coach out there before we scooped him up, right?
Yeah,
And
and
now he went to
after
the
we had
enemy.
Harbaugh, and I was very interested in Stanford when Harbaugh was there. And I remember even after Harbaugh left, I remember watching them even more because I noticed a lot of the same schemes that we were running on defense and offense were mirroring what the 49ers were doing. My other only knock on Harbaugh was I was not a fan of Greg Roman. So if Harbaugh would ever to come back in any way, shape, or form, get a real offensive coordinator if we're going to do that.
Please.
That's all. Yeah, because I can't do Roman anymore. I just can't do it.
Let me ask the faithful and yourself a start question. So, no disrespect to Harbaugh. He took us to the goddamn Super Bowl. He made Colin Kaepernick, I don't know what that does on your channel. He made number 7. Much better than he probably was. He brought a different type of feel. No, who's got it better than us? The people that beat us in the big games.
Nobody.
Other than that, nobody, right? So, yeah, but let me ask everybody this. Kyle gets fired tomorrow, and they decide to hire Pete Carroll. Would you be happy?
I can't stand Pete Carroll.
There you go. So I mean, okay, now it may be a little bit different, but just even if
he's a really good coach, though.
He's an excellent coach, right? Even if like they're your enemy. So right now, I'm very very curious about my college ball. You can't get to the Niners unless you play college ball for somebody. So Harbaugh is the coach of my Seahawk, of my Ram of college football. So it's a little. We have a problem right now.
Hey, do you remember Pete Carroll when he was our defensive coordinator? Because I do.
Ours?
Yeah, he was our
it was
defensive coordinator.
It was a long time ago, right?
It was after we had won the Super Bowl. May have been the season after or the season after that. Yeah.
I didn't know the intricacies the way I do today. I was just a young Lawrence then, but I knew that football was it was my life. And the Niners won that Super Bowl. I still remember that like it was yesterday. But I vaguely know that he did spend some time on our staff.
Okay, so 49er Tone, this is his response to your Pete Carroll question. He says, no, and it's not because I hate him. I think he makes way too many game day mistakes, and they get away with it. Okay, that's a nice assessment.
He does. I believe that. Yep.
John Lynch says Pete Carroll is trash. Not the same as her. I miss John Lynch's takes, man. I love talking football with this John Lynch.
Pete Carroll has a bowl. Pete Carroll has a bowl. Harbaugh does not.
I can't stand that bubblegum chewing that he does. So the way he just strolls back and forth on the sidelines, and he's useless. His whole demeanor is just so irritating.
It was back to USC. I hated him at USC too. I was from LA, so
Tone says if we miss the playoffs, Should we fire Shanahan and promote D'Amico, or maybe go after Door? I'll be honest, man.
Boom. Right now. Not if we miss the playoffs. Sorry, go ahead.
If we had a knee jerk reaction to fire Shanahan after the season for whatever the reason may be, and the idea is to hire D'Amico and bring in a nice offensive coordinator, I won't be mad. That's all I got to say. What about
Boom.
you? What about you in regards to Tone's question?
Shout out to Tone. You just made my day. Boom. Do it. They don't gotta wait till we miss the playoffs, which we could do with lame James at the helm. They can do that shit. They can do that tomorrow.
We had already talked about Jimmy earlier. I
Yeah,
was I was at a
we
tailgate once when we were waiting to see Lance play his
Dorsey.
first
Yep.
tailgate
He
against.
cares.
Oh yeah, I like Dorsey and I like Payton too. I'd welcome them. Why not?
I'm sorry. Go
John Lynch
tailgate.
says,
We said about the tailgate.
oh yeah, I'll tell you a second. John Lynch just hired Ken Dorsey. A 49er tone was this is like the tailgate party for the 49ers Chiefs preseason game when we saw Lance get that big touchdown to Sherfield or whatever. I was at the game and me and Tone were at the tailgate and Tone had had mentioned something about me on my channel, and he was pretending to punch me. He's like, "Man, I seen you hating on Jimmy. I seen you hating on Jimmy." And he was like pretending to punch me, and I was like, "Man, I can't help it, man. I'm just critical of the guy. What can I do, man?" That's all
Let me
good.
say, I don't understand anyone for anything. Like right now, as I watch, I believe we're down quite a bit. The Lakers right now to uh, the other team in LA are not by much anymore on the comeback, 50-54. I'll talk all the kind of crap about LeBron or Anthony Davis and his one eyebrow and all that, and Westbrook and all that stuff. Any player that's on any James, if Trey Lance in 2 years is horrible, I'm gonna say, well, where's number? Let me get a number six then. Maybe the tens and the fives and the halves and all that shit that don't work. Maybe we need another player with another number.
Okay, so let
I,
me say this: Trey
I don't care who it
Lance.
is.
Well, for me, I usually give players 3 years of playing. So would you give them 3 full seasons of playing? Because I kind of would give him three, unless it's 2 seasons of just looking completely
Horrible.
awful, which I
Right.
highly doubt will happen.
Me too.
But if it's after 2 years and he just looks like total dog water, I mean, eventually we're gonna speak up about it. I don't
Like
see
you
it
said,
happening.
I give that to you absolutely. Three good years. To me, he hasn't played. Many years ago when I was a little younger, I heard a saying, from football players that this boy is never going to stop being a rookie. He's still a rookie. I heard that the way they consider it is you need to play 20 games in the league. So you get out of your first season. This is when it was a 16-game season. You get out of your first season, you play all 16 games. The players don't consider you not a rookie until you play 4 more games in the next season, in season two. Like that's real spit, allegedly in the circles of football. Like this kid is a rookie; he hasn't even played. So for me, he still got plenty of time to come onto the team and try to show us what he can actually do. Uh, we saw, like you said, the preseason game. That stuff is going to happen. Now we all saw that. We got excited. The second play of the game, touchdown. This is like we got excited because we haven't seen that in decades. We haven't seen someone throwing the ball like that since Jeff Garcia, maybe. Or, I mean, Steve. I mean, come on, man. It was very, very, very exciting to watch that Kansas City game, and then have him come out and run the ball 16 times. I can't understand where that comes from, and we have plenty of players like that.
Yeah, so Tono brings up a good point about the way Trey might be handled or misused properly. He says,
Exactly.
"I'm worried about Trey and the coaching. We got to give Trey time, but he needs someone to help him develop. Shanahan can't develop him." Okay. And John Lynch
He can't
says,
develop him.
"Right, I love D'Amico Ryans, but we need someone to develop Trey. That's the most
True.
important thing. We may keep Ryans as defensive coordinator if Dorsey comes back." We can't. Yeah, I am worried about switching offensive coordinators on Trey. I'll be honest with, or switching systems on it. Now I know he's a smart, intelligent guy at the same time, so he'll probably power through and be just fine, and there'll be nothing to worry about. But either way, whoever it is that's developing him, whoever it is that's working with him, they better do it right. We better not mess this up. Is that you'll be pissed, I'll be pissed, we'll all be pissed.
If I can say something along that line, Bashar, something that I say about James all the time, not to continue to bring him up because I try my best not to do it ever. Um, his MO and what he's consistently been is consistently inconsistent, right? So that's the same thing that Trey Lance is starting to run into. So people like even I think he's as talented. They talk about that all the time. Even Alex Smith had the same thing. Oh, every year I got to change offensive coordinators. Every year I got to change coaches. That doesn't work for anyone. So he hasn't been able to play. He hasn't been able to get on the field with what he had. He's just encapsulated so much information over the last year and a half. I'm sure from Kyle. And then if they change up and switch up something in a year and a half from now, he's just after all the injury. I think the start of his career is getting off to a bad start. And any more change or any less consistency with what he's had so far will be big detriment to his career long term. He's gonna if he has to learn a new system. I'm hoping and praying Kyle is who we all think he is, who he thinks he is, and when Trey comes back next year, he could just pick up where he was getting to, and maybe Kyle learns a lot from it too. Maybe he gives him more trust next year.
All right, so that's our talk about all of our Niner talk. We pretty much handled the Niner talk. Talked about a little bit about the unfortunate loss in Atlanta. Talked about our injury woes, which was the title of the video. We also early before that we talked about Lawrence's journey as a Niner fan, how all that began. Talked about the Chiefs preview, and then we got back. We, as usual, as these Niner streams go, it's always going to be that Trey Lance, Jimmy talk, and now it's some Shanahan, D'Amico, and whoever else coach in the bubble talk. But right about now, I'm about to do a flying elbow off the top ropes, a la Macho Man Savage, and end that Niner talk because we're going to talk some WWF wrestling, not WWE. We're going to talk some WWF wrestling nostalgia. I know my boy 49er Tone in here. We actually attended WrestleMania together. We didn't sit by each other, but we had a little tailgate at Levi's Stadium where the Niners play when they had WrestleMania there. And we kicked it before and after the matches. And it was a lot of fun. The one last thing about Shanahan, John Lynch says, if Shanahan is the guy to develop Trey, it does harm to keep him in the system that it does to learn a new system. Oh, yeah, of course, without a doubt. Yeah, we agree with you wholeheartedly, John Lynch. And hopefully we figure this thing out because we're going to go nuts. But yeah, man, let's get into this wrestling talk. 49 Tone, like I mentioned, him and I, we go back with our wrestling talk and with our wrestling. This is WWF talk shit. I'm here for it. And that's the bottom line. It's so cold. So let's go. So
Tone, why haven't I run into you yet, Tone? Why are you not subscribed to my channel? Why are you not in my live stream on Monday, Tone, when I was watching Raw live?
Okay.
Why aren't we just meeting, my brother?
Well, not everybody knows everybody on here, but for those of you who don't know Lawrence, check out his YouTube channel. It's in the description box of this video. It's called Platform 246. He covers 49ers, covers wrestling, covers random topics like the Will Smith slap, the Johnny Depp trial, or whatever else is going on pop culture. He's going to talk about it. But how did you become a wrestling fan? How did it all start? Do you remember?
The same way I started with the Niners. I said earlier, I was born. You know what I mean? That was just it, man. I've been watching wrestling since I was like about 4 years old. I remember, so wrestling. We started WrestleMania 184. I saw WrestleMania 4 as the first one. So that I remember specifically. And then I had a cousin who was 6 years older than me, and he's really the one who kind of just I would be watching wrestling with at 4 when he was about 10 years old. So I just watched it, and then about 6, 7 years old, fell in love with the Hulkster. You know what I mean? It was short lived, honestly, because I grew up quick. So right around the time that Shawn Michaels broke away from Marty Jannetty, that's when wrestling really just like took over my life. So right at the early '90s, right when the Undertaker came, things like that. Around 8 years old, man, 1990. Uh, that's probably my biggest and most vivid memories of wrestling, going to the live events. My father never got a chance to take us to a Raw or a pay-per-view, but like I went to like 50 live events that would happen on the weekends and things like that. The events that are not recorded. As I grew up, myself and my brothers, and I just never stopped liking wrestling. I used to have my dad would always tease me. He'd be like, Larry, wrestling is fake. Why do you watch that shit? Like literally, he would just pick on me, fucking with me while I'm watching it, and I would at first it used to irritate me, and as I got older, I actually hit him with something that just he could never respond to, and I was like, well, you know what, Dad, you watch a lot of shows or whatever. Every show you watch has a season. Even me, I watch sports. You don't watch sports, but the Niners are gonna go away. That's going to go away. But you know what never goes away? You know what's here for me every single week? Wrestling. And he never he every Monday wrestling's gonna come on, Dad. No matter whether you like it or not, whether I want sick or whatever, Raw's gonna come on every Monday. So shut up. And he would never have anything else to say after that. He would laugh and he would be like, yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah, you're right. So wrestling's always there for you. It comes on every week, rain, sleet, snow, sign, or dog show on USA. Wrestling's gonna find a way to come on. So I've never stopped watching it since I was really 4 years old, man. I'm 40 years old now.
Oh, okay, wow. So you're 36 years into the game, man, and you're still
36. I'm a
watching
36-year
it.
vet, and I got
Yeah,
man.
I'll be
Look, I got
honest. I'll be
18,
honest.
18 and 16, and they're obsessed. My two sons because of me.
I'm not a
So,
fan of the current product. I'll be honest. I'm not trying to throw shade at
oh no,
people who participate or the performers or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. It just kind of worth it on me. But let me see what's up to Brian Cope,
you're not the only
fellow
one.
fellow faithful, and somebody else I
What's
missed
up, Brian
earlier was David McNew says what's up, Bashar and Lawrence. I'm pretty sure I
and
missed
David?
earlier.
What's
My
up,
bad.
David?
My bad. He was talking about Jeff Wilson Jr. earlier. He said Jeff Wilson Jr. needs to hold on to the ball.
Oh,
Hopefully we'll get Mitchell back. He's right about that. I ain't
Tone.
gonna argue with that one.
I'm sorry, Bashar. Tone. To answer your question, which is right below, I 100% agree because the goat to me personally is HBK. Always in fact,
Oh,
and
okay,
and
okay.
now he's second in command. Now he's the vice president. Okay, he
Oh,
may as
is
well.
he? He's the vice president, Shawn Michaels?
Well, that's not. I'm saying he may as well be Kamala Harris. Yeah, Triple H is the boss now. He took Vince's spot. So his right hand man now is Shawn Michaels, which is kind of a table term because when they were younger, Shawn
Yeah.
Michaels is older and he was kind of tagging behind Shawn Michaels. But yeah, Shawn Michaels is the goat. I can't stand Bret Hart, and yes, Bret Scoop Bret.
And for those who don't know, we're obviously in the wrestling talk now. I'm sure people in the chat will know what we're talking about.
I know.
They're oblivious to wrestling. There was the Montreal screw job. If you don't know what that is, look that up on YouTube. There's plenty of stuff. Yeah, there's plenty of things you can watch. Wrestling with Shadows, Dark Side of the Ring, the Montreal screw job. You can listen to Jim Cornette's commentary on that. It's all
Jim
over
Cornette.
the place. Oh yeah, Jim Cornette's awesome, man. And he for some reason
Vince
just
down.
Who's the guy that hates Vince Russo? Right?
He hates Vince. He calls him dipshit. There's a couple of names you can that are hilarious. He doesn't call him by his name. Too often. He literally doesn't.
Well, he keeps saying that he's going to be alive to piss on his grave. He always says that.
He wants to stay alive.
That's pretty cruel, man. I'm trying to figure out like the timeline between Vince Russo and Cornette. Like, what is it between those two that makes him hate him so much? Though, like, I know they may have bumped heads in terms of the creative process and writing and all that, but as far as another Vince goes, though, he mentioned Bret totally screw Bret. That's a Toe mentioned it first, and Lynn Lynch mentioned it after. It's a Vince McMahon quote. So Bret, I don't know if I can do the voice, but Bret Hart screwed Bret Hart. I can actually do Vince's voice a little better when I say from beyond the mat. Oh, he's gonna puke. He's gonna puke.
He's gonna puke. Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Wrestling's always about Darren. Poor guy Darren Drozdov, by the way, in that wheelchair.
Respect to him in a wheelchair.
Oh my gosh, man, that's brutal. What happened to him? Wrestling's a brutal sport. Hey, people actually really do get hurt. A lot of people don't realize that. People say wrestling's fake. No, people actually it may be scripted or
it's scripted,
predetermined, and there's characters and cartoon-like characters, but don't say that people don't get hurt.
Get in the ring.
Don't say that people don't get hurt. Oh, yeah. So wrestling it's all over the place, man. Just all kinds of craziness, and I just have a soft place in my heart for all the nostalgia. And I was glued to my TV a few weeks ago, just clicking because I had recorded these Dark Side of the Ring episodes from Vice, and I had just sat in front of my TV for probably about 3 hours on my DVR watching all this Dark Side of the Ring stuff. I watched the one about the Ultimate Warrior, watched the Montreal Screwjob one. I thought I did already know the story, but they dropped these tidbits in there, and the Vice channel packages it so well. Excellent. I think they're probably the best network at putting together documentaries, in my opinion.
I believe, they are,
because they're just amazing at what they do, man. And I was just, like I said, I was glued to the TV watching all this stuff about Dark Side of the Ring, and now I just have so much fun with all this nostalgia stuff. I can't get enough of it.
Well, some nostalgia I keep bringing up, and I see it in the comments. Yes, HBK is back. HBK he runs NXT, which comes on Tuesdays. He has his hands, pretty much in everything. And even like you said, I know you. I like the nostalgia too. I'm getting a little nostalgia, at least from a couple of years ago, because yes, Bray Wyatt is back in the building. The White Rabbit was Bray Wyatt. That's a story that's been going on with wrestling recently, and he was fired, last July, but he
I didn't
just
even know he
came
was
back.
fired.
Yeah, bro. Bray Wyatt got fired last July 2021, and then he came back at Extreme Rules 2 Saturdays ago. He returned to wrestling. So Bray's back. He's on SmackDown on Friday nights, and tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Bashar, I don't know if you're busy, man. Come in and stream. I'm gonna be live streaming
If I'm not
tomorrow.
busy, I'll come in. I'll come in if I'm not
Yeah, for
busy.
real.
You know what?
What?
There is some Warrior stuff going on tomorrow, so I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
I
I get it.
probably,
I get it. I get it.
but I'll give you a rain check. I'll stop by on one of the other ones.
Yeah, I'll be live streaming SmackDown. So what I do, on the channel when wrestling's on, either Monday or Friday or every pay-per-view, just like you and I are here, we all watch it together, and I commentate the hell out of it. I try to entertain.
So
And
John Lynch said
give you some.
Roman Reigns is the worst character around and boring and predictable. I'm not a big fan of him in terms of what. Not that I hate him or dislike him, but he never captivated me. But the one thing
That's the
about
thing.
him, though, he's a huge 49er fan, and he loves the 49ers.
Yes.
So
Shout out to the
I love
Usos. Throw your
Roman
ones
just
up.
for
Throw your ones
yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's
So
that's the Roman shit.
that whole
Okay.
Samoan Anai family, or if I'm saying
Uh,
the last name right,
and
but
you got it right. And Hawaii.
yeah, and I know why all those guys, The Rock and
Rock
Rikishi
and
and
Kishi,
Yokozuna, the
Yokozuna,
Usos and
yeah,
the
the
Wild
Usos, the
Samoans,
Headbangers,
and
the Wild
all
Samoans,
those guys, they're all
all,
family. And
all of them are just like there's about
yeah,
everyone you
and
can think of.
Reigns
They're
is
family.
Reigns is a huge Niner fan. The Usos are Niner fans.
They
Rikishi,
are.
so that's a
Yep.
cool thing. But yeah, I'm sure there's more entertaining wrestlers than Reigns. I mean, that's why I prefer the older style. I felt like even the announcers had way more
Yep.
swag and more like they were just
It's
so
not the same.
interesting. Like you go back and watch the old school stuff with freaking and Vince McMahon himself was an amazing announcer. He was an excellent announcer, and now that was a damn owner of the freaking company being
And
the
you didn't know
announcer.
for a long time.
Yeah, I had a hint though because I read a few articles back when I was a kid. So and
Oh,
I read books. I had books and articles, and I had a hint that he was behind it because I knew his dad was
Okay.
the original owner.
His
But
dad was the original, right?
you go back and watch Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan side by side. That's must see TV.
That's must see TV.
That's TV gold right there. Rest in peace to the both of them.
Rest in peace to both of them.
And
Yeah, him telling Monsoon to shut up. He didn't tell Monsoon to
oh
shut up
man,
or something. I heard every Saturday morning as a 6, 7, 8 year old Bobby Heenan screaming, hollering. Bobby Heenan cussed on live TV when you weren't allowed to do that as an announcer.
I don't
You know what
remember
I
him
mean?
cussing though. What would he say? What did he drop?
It wasn't even on WWE. That's the thing. It was on actually WCW, and
Oh,
another
he was
person.
on WCW as well. Yeah.
He went to WCW, and then there's another person who, unfortunately, rest in peace, Brian Pillman. Uh, Long story short, Heenan had some neck surgery. He was he started as a wrestler himself first, I guess in the '60s or whatever, and he had bad neck. Brian Pillman was playing a crazy character at that time, and not telling Heenan beforehand, went outside the ring and like shook him behind, like he was running from one of these wrestlers, and he shook him. He was like, "What the f are you doing?" Literally on camera. He
I
said that
gotta
on the
watch that.
camera.
I gotta watch.
It's on
I've never
YouTube.
heard Bobby. I've never
To the
heard
stream
Bobby
because
Heenan
we're all
cuss.
live together. YouTube it. Bobby Heenan cussing out. Just put Bobby Heenan cussing out Brian Pillman. Bobby Heenan, Brian
I'll
Pillman.
watch it. I'll
You'll
watch
see
it.
it. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Brian Pillman passed away as well, man.
right, all three of them are gone.
That reminds me because when I was watching the Dark Side of the Ring documentary, and we all know that as the old cliche goes, I hate to talk bad about people who passed away because the Ultimate Warrior is no longer here, but he was not the most liked person. And
He
Bobby
was a
the
piece of
Brain
garbage.
Heenan. Bobby the Brain Heenan himself said in the Dark Side. Oh, they quoted Bobby. They were talking about Bobby the Brain Heenan in the Dark Side of the Ring episode about the Warrior.
He heard him.
That freaking Heenan had a bad neck. It's an old guy with a
There you
bad
go.
neck. And then Warrior's not even like careful about that. Like, you're this huge, gigantic, buff ass dude taking more roids than anybody, and you're freaking jacking up this senior citizen's neck. Like, what are you thinking? And he's a legend on top of that. Come on, do you have some respect for the game, for humanity, something?
You said the right word, respect. The Ultimate Warrior did not respect the wrestling business. He was a bodybuilder. He wanted to be famous and yada yada yada. And yes, he one night damn near did jack up Bobby Heenan real bad, who was a legend, who was old, who has a bad neck, and it was known that the Ultimate Warrior, even up to the match, I guess maybe outside of the match with Hulk Hogan, he wasn't safe. Wrestling is a dance, is what they call it. In inside wrestling, it's a dance, brother. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be physical as hell. And it looks physical and all that, but it's predetermined. It's fake. It's supposed to be a dance. You're both your dance partners. You're not enemies. You know what I mean? You're not
Unless you're fighting New Jack or
unless you're fighting New Jack, because New Jack tried to really kill people in the ring. So
another guy who
literally,
passed away.
another rest in peace of New Jack, and he was crazy. But yeah, unless you're New Jack, excellent pull, my brother. We got yeah. Unless you're New Jack, it's a dance. You're dance partners. You're not enemies. So him just completely per, uh, decide not to help take care of Bobby Heenan when he had him over his head and dropped him was pretty messed up. He did that
And
to a lot of wrestlers.
great question for 49 Tony says, which era would be your all-time favorite era? Mine, of course, is the Attitude Era, because that was a time while I was growing up and had some classic. You're already answering the question. Yeah, oh yeah, DX, the Attitude Era. Anything you want to add about the Attitude Era? And John Lynch agrees that's his best era as well.
Of course,
for me, it's pre-Attitude Era. I'm more about the '80s, Roddy Piper, the first WrestleManias, because I was a little kid and that's when I was watching. But I did like and respect the Attitude Era too. But I went to a few matches as a kid during, the golden age, the '80s.
The golden era. Yep, right on.
Yeah, the gold. Yeah.
Anything
you want to add about the Attitude Era really quick? Or?
It happened to be that for me. That helped shape my childhood. I did the meme. When you see the meme online, who did you get in trouble for doing the cross chop in high school? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I watched it on Monday and did it on Tuesday.
You were doing Ric Flair chops, some people?
I did some Ric Flair chops on my brothers as a child. That's for damn sure. But the cross chop in high school to my English teacher, shut up. Suck it. The Attitude Era.
You did the DX to him.
Yeah, the DX to him in school. There's a meme that goes around and says, how many of you got in trouble doing this? It shows Triple H and Shawn Michaels doing whatever. So it would have to be the Attitude Era for me. I think wrestling will never get back to that. It birthed and spawned Stone Cold. You know what I mean? Who I believe is not necessarily
The Rock and Stone Cold.
The Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H and Mick Foley and Kane is introduced.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
There will never be anything like that 5 or so year period from like '96 to Kurt Angle. Right, that time, right, then they went into the Cena era and things like that. So right up to the early 2000s, from like '96 to 2000, will probably have to be my favorite era, and that was also the era when I was a teenager. So everything that they did was cool and tight and dope and all that. Yeah. So I'll probably have to be it.
And going back to the Attitude Era, because it ties in with WWF, he said Monday Night Wars were epic as a kid. We had all WWF versus WCW arguments.
I switched channels every few seconds. I couldn't stay on one channel, bro.
Wait, is this real? Breaking news: did the 49ers just trade for McCaffrey?
I'm sorry.
I don't know what to think about this. If this is
my fault, my voice got pretty high there.
Hang on.
Hold on, I'm going to Twitter.
Breaking news. It's
no,
legit.
we didn't.
It's legit.
No, we didn't.
Breaking news. I'm about to flash it on my screen because my boy from 49ers News 24/7 on Twitter just tweeted it, and I'm going to share my tweet right now. I'm going to share my tweet right now. Breaking news: Panthers are trading for Pro Bowl running back Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for draft picks per Adam Schefter. Let's see what Schefter's got. Dude, this is rocking my world right now. Right here, live. Thank you, 49ers, for dropping the breaking news on us. Breaking news from Adam Schefter. Breaking news. I'm like at a loss for words. We're having this beautiful wrestling conversation.
Back to ball.
Okay. So let's read it from Schefter. Wow. It says, Stunner, Panthers are trading Pro Bowl running back Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for draft picks. I hope we're not giving too much away. Sources tell ESPN McCaffrey returns to the Bay Area, where he attended Stanford, another Stanford University guy.
Wow.
So there you have it. I was telling people earlier that, hey, the Niners weren't going to be in the mix because I saw rumors that we weren't going to be in the mix.
Shout out to 49 Tone.
Yeah, 49 Tone just dropping the hammer on us. Disrupting our wrestling conversation, which is so to speak, dropping the hammer, dropping the elbow.
On us, brother. You dropped the elbow right off the top of leg.
Man, we had a beautiful wrestling conversation, and then this bombshell just hit us. That's just crazy. Mob Crow says the Map Crow real news. That is real news. But we're talking about some fake wrestling right before this. And that's just
Wow.
crazy, man. That is nuts. That is just. I don't even know what to say about this. I'm like, I think it's awesome, but I'm a little worried about how many picks. I'm a little worried about how many picks we may have given up.
How healthy are you going to be, sir? How long are you going to be here? And how many picks are we giving up?
I am typing this up. I'm just at a loss for words. I don't know what to. That's. I mean, this is the type of move.
Christian McCaffrey. We got white chocolate, folks. We got
sure
white chocolate. Oh my God!
He said, "Let's." 49 Tone says, "Let's go." We got Christian McCaffrey. I honestly think that Christian McCaffrey is like the perfect.
He is.
I don't have.
You know he is. What's his number? Water? Who's losing their jersey? When I had Jersey Watch for, I don't know if you saw my live stream, folks are faithful, or even yourself, Bashar. The last preseason game, we had Jordan Mason Jersey Watch because he was number 41. I was like, whose jersey is he going to get to take when he makes a team and somebody else gets cut? So what is Christian's jersey number, and whose jersey number is he taking? That's what I want to know. That's what I can't remember. I'm checking it out right now.
I guess we'll no longer be hearing about Jordan Mason or some running back's going to be the odd man now. I don't know who. Yeah, well, maybe Jordan Mason. I don't know who comes, who goes.
Jeff Wilson?
Well, TD Price stays as a draft pick.
Yeah.
I would have. Even though we barely seen the guy. We barely seen the guy.
We cut a third-round draft pick this year, though.
So thanks to 49 Tones to Bashar. Got to get back to work. Shout out to you, Lawrence. I subbed your channel too. Bashar hit me on here. I got a new number. Send me a message on Twitter, bro, because I don't know what your new number is. Real talk, I don't. Send me a message on Twitter.
Have a good rest of your shift, brother.
If I can't DM you, I'll DM you on Facebook if I try. I can't DM me on YouTube. But thanks to Toe, man, for coming in here and dropping. Yeah, man. Horace is here. He says, OMFG, bro. Let's go.
Niner ganger.
I'll be honest, man. This freaking Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance situation had me not being. I had zero excitement for the season, especially with all the injuries the past week, the ridiculous loss.
That hurt.
Okay.
The loss and the injuries, right?
I'll find a way to hit you up. So no worries, but yeah, the injuries. I mean, the stupid loss. Watching Jimmy, but I mean, having McCaffrey in the backfield, coming out to catch passes, run the ball, in this Shanahan system is going to change the dynamic of this offense. It should. I mean, that would be pretty embarrassing if we had McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, and we're still not scoring points. Like how would that happen? I just don't see it. But this should give us a really, really nice boost to our offense, man.
He's not going to throw for just 217 anymore. You don't think so? I mean, all right. So come on,
maybe 100 of those 217 goes to McCaffrey, and then the rest. Yeah. I don't know.
Wow. All right. So first of all, I want to say, look in my eyes, John and Kyle, salute to you. Good work, even if it doesn't work, because when that young man left his ankle on the 25-yard line, I pretty much gave up on the season. My heart broke. All hope went out pretty much for the season. I was just like, whatever. And I never thought that would happen. But I want to first of all give credit right now to John and Kyle for pulling the trigger and doing something big. I'm really just dumbfounded. I think he could set us on fire. That boy can play. So if he can stay healthy, look out. I don't care if the dime thrower is under center. With the weapons that we have,
the penny thrower that we were saying, the penny thrower,
the Chuck E. Cheese. You said the Chuck E. Cheese, coin
Chuck E. Cheese tokens, Chuck E. Cheese,
Chuck E. Cheese token man. I don't care if token man is under center or not, that boy is good. And when you have Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, at some point in time, Mitchell with his speed, look out.
Yes, sir. It's just crazy. This what did Horace say? Horace is my bro. I believe he lives in Qatar where they're having the World Cup. A really cool guy. He says, I'm so hyped to watch watching Lakers game, bro. I know he's a big Laker fan, but that hyped me up. after seeing my Lakers get beat down by by your Warriors. Yeah, I'm sure that helped you out a whole lot. Find out we got McCaffrey. That definitely brings in a whole new dynamic to this offense. Obviously, you brought up the injuries, and that was my concern about not wanting to trade for him. That was lingering in the back of my head. I'm not gonna lie, because I did say it. I'm not gonna act like I didn't say it. I also said that we got the bots. We got the bots dropping them
Get
links.
your ass out of here.
Dropping them links.
It's still on my mind, sir. Honestly, even though I got screamed like a little lady here the second that the news dropped, it's still right. It's still right there.
Lace Up Senpai says CMC. That's CMC in the place to be. Back in the Bay Area, San Francisco 49ers. You played at Stanford. His dad played for the 49ers for our Super Bowl team. His dad was on the Niners. His dad won a ring with us. Shanahan knew his dad.
Shanahan watched this little boy as a child. Well,
Lynch has the
his
Stanford
sister
connection.
Lynch went to Stanford, and Kyle Shanahan babysat him when he was a kid. Apparently, well, he said again.
I hope we didn't get fleeced, because we don't have. I mean,
we did.
People always complain that we're the team that doesn't swing for the fences. We don't swing for the fences. So we tried to get. So obviously we try to get the quarterback of the future. Hopefully Lance is that guy. I have a lot of faith in him.
Ooh,
and he's not playing this year. We all know that, but we're swinging for the fences again. I didn't see that coming. I heard our name in the mix, but I just thought it was some BS. I didn't.
But now I can tell you, that's not BS. That's because today, actually, during my work time, maybe about noon today, 2 different times on Instagram and once on Twitter, I kept seeing a post, and I don't even know who it was from, but what it said was that we were starting to emerge, and I didn't believe it. I guess I half did, or I didn't care. I was like, he's injury prone, or blah, blah. I don't know how I really feel, but I kept saying today that we were emerging as the number 1 candidate to trade for him. I guess I pretty much didn't believe it, but it was breaking throughout the day.
Yeah. The room. Oh, here we go. John Lynch dropping the picks. Here we go. Ooh, this is kind of deep, guys.
We're not gonna have. Do we have a first round pick?
Oh my god, we don't have a first round pick in 2023.
We're not picking to the. Wait, what?
Okay, so are you telling me the 4th round pick is also from 2023 as well?
We're not picking to the 5th round next year.
Is that what you're telling me, John Lynch? Because I do love our deep roster in general. In many cases, our roster, and we have the youth too. We have a roster that is much deeper than the rest of the NFL now, but we still have holes though. We have to fix the center position.
Oh, wait, Bashard, I'm sorry.
I know. It's a lot of picks.
No. Are you sure, John? Please shout out to John. I'm dead serious. Nah, we don't have a first round pick. What? So Kyle and John are saying that we are winning the Super Bowl this season. We're going to win at 3-3. Wow.
I knew it was going to require some picks, and that's why I was skeptical.
Come on, man.
Right off the bat. 4 high quality picks for an injured running back is ridiculous. I hope it pays off. I agree with you that's a lot of picks, and we do have injuries at that running back position typically, anyways, and that's why when people were hooting and hollering about us trading for him. Right. Now, again, the talent is off the chain. If you think about it, if you just want to speak talent wise,
we're trading Kittle for. We're trading Kittle.
Told people, this is back. Now, this is back when we had Mostert. This is back when we had Mostert, and he had that big run against the Green Bay Packers. And when the 2019 season was over, I was telling my friend that. I love what we can do with guys like Mostert and Tevin Coleman in this running game, in this run scheme. But just imagine what can we do with this running back in this scheme with an actual high ceiling elite running back, because we've always had these no-name guys. So now we're finally going to see it. Now it's coming at a price. So again, we're both kind of on the fence about this. A lot of people probably are too. But I don't know what his contract looks like. I don't know how long we're going to have this guy, but I want to see him with Trey Lance. That's what I really want to see. I'm not talking about, because if we're doing a deal like this, if we're giving up picks like this better be for the long term, and we better get some damn miles out of him.
What's his contract? Do we have him signed? I'm sorry.
Okay. Here we go. There's more to it. Niners are
Okay.
expected 4 compensatory picks in 2023, including a possible 3 third rounders. Okay. I could live with that.
I can do that.
Yeah, I could live with that.
Okay. Man, because outside, okay, you know what, Faithful and Bashar, I was at work yesterday, and I remember right now. Just I maybe been break, might have been leaving work. I was walking in the parking lot of my job. I had just watched something. I probably was college press conference. I was just walking to my car, and I had the thought, this is how much I think of the team, just randomly. Eh, I was like, damn, if we don't pick a guard, I mean, or a center in the first, with our first pick in the second round, is what I was thinking to myself. Literally, next year I'm gonna fucking riot. And now we don't have one. Like we
Yeah.
don't have a pick until the fifth. That's now. Hopefully these compensation or compensatory picks, as they say, or whatever. I'm not 100% always sure on exactly what that means. I know it sounds better than it's not saying anything, but to just hear that drop 5 minutes ago that okay, we're not picking to the fifth round next year. We must be winning the Super Bowl this year, and then that's okay. And I don't care who comes back and plays for at least a couple of years. I'll be set. But if that doesn't happen, that's crazy.
I totally agree. And what I'm trying to do is once I get this website loaded up on my screen,
Wow.
because it's circling for whatever weird reason. I'm trying to find out what Christian McCaffrey's what his current contract looks like. Because I'm
We
very
have for
curious
14,
about.
15 games or whatever. I'm sorry, 13 or whatever the hell. 12
Yeah,
games,
I'm really curious. I mean,
11.
about the.
Do we have him for 11 games? And he's a free agent or like we got to get deeper in that, brother, because I mean, he's played every game this year, I think, or maybe he missed one. I know he had a moment where he had an interview. He was at his press at the lockers, and he was like, "Yeah, if I sneeze out or whatever, I'll miss a game or whatever, or I'll be on the list or the training list or whatever the case is."
Okay, so he's under contract through
But
2025. I just found that out, and John Lynch
2
also
years.
posted it as well. So we'll
Thank you.
have time to work a deal for him, and hopefully he's a guy that's going to stick around and have a longer career than
Shout out
other
to
running
John and
backs do.
Kyle and John
Yeah,
here,
and this John Lynch too.
and this John Lynch too. Sincerely,
Yeah,
shout out to
I
you,
mean, a lot
brother.
of Niner fans always say the grass, the grass is greener on the other side because other teams do make these big moves. But you gotta
Yeah,
remember, when you make these big moves, you're gonna have to give up something too. And it's not like you're gonna get something for free. But hey, we're taking the risks. How many risks did the Rams take? They got themselves a ring, didn't they?
you got to
They
ring.
almost
So
won.
let me
Had it
just
not
because
been have it not been for Jared Goff playing like ass, maybe they would have had 2 rings. But
they
what up,
may have
Brandon?
had two. What's up,
Brandon's hyped
Brandon?
up since we got CMC. Brandon from Forever Faithful Podcast. What's up, bro? It's crazy. We were on here. We were finished all our Niner talk. I interviewed him, and I was really excited to do our wrestling talk because just all the nostalgia and all the fun. We're having a little fun
It
wrestling
was still great,
conversation.
brother. It was
And
going
then
good.
49er Tone in the chat drops the breaking news, and Christian
Yeah.
McCaffrey is now a San Francisco 49er. So here we
19,
go.
19,
More
and
with the cap
15
hit.
mil.
So the cap hit of 19 million, 15. Somebody's got to go. We're not going to be able to pay everybody. I don't know.
So,
Prague, work your magic, Prague. Work your magic with your financial numbers and do what you got to do, Prague.
hey, 85. If you want to go down to Florida, he'll take all our players. And they shoot wrestling down in Florida. 85. See you later.
I'm not ready to say buy an 85 yet, but if that's what they have to do to make it work, and if they have a better option to replace him or whatever, so be it. But I don't know. We haven't honestly, we haven't really been, ever since we got Kittle, we haven't been doing well with tight ends though. That's the thing though. And that would definitely worry me if we lost Kittle. But we better make Kittle work, and he better
just
wake
throw him
his
the
ass
ball.
up. He better
Throw him the
wake
ball, then I'll get up with his
and Jimmy
ass.
needs to get his head out of his ass. And obviously, we got Trey Lance taking over next season, anyways.
We need to watch the draft, man.
Brandon, I think you hit it right on the nose. He said this happened as soon as I ended our show, man. Yeah, I saw that you guys were doing a show. Had my show going with him, and we were going to finish off our wrestling talk, and then boom, this happens. He said, no need to watch the draft next year. Exactly. We're not even going to have any big time picks. I mean, I'll watch, obviously, but I'm not going to be like at the edge of my seat watching. I just hope that we somehow address this damn center position, some things with the O-line. I don't know what centers may be available. I'm going to probably look ahead. at one point in time, just study the free agency, because just seeing how else we can possibly fill our holes. I don't know. They got to figure something out, because it's not like we do have an amazing roster, but we also have some concerns that we got to fix and take care of as well. But hey, another amazing playmaker in this offense. Maybe we can finally see why they call Shanahan a genius.
To see him on the field. He won't see you next. You get see him next week.
Yeah. What's that?
I said maybe we'll see him next week.
Oh yeah, yep, probably. Who knows? I mean, if they're really confident about him, maybe we see him. We see him.
Maybe they just slip him in there. Yeah. Brother, we can get you at least 10 plays, brother.
Exactly.
You don't got to know everything to get at least 10 little plays in or something. 10, 15 plays.
I mean, Andy Reid will probably have some fits with all the weapons that we have.
Yeah, if we bring him out, let's drop him in the game one time, Kyle. Come on, Kyle.
On that note, man, we had a pretty crazy stream, man. I didn't get the higher.
I appreciate it.
I've had streams with more views, but people can always go back and watch this after the fact, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of amazing people. What made the stream awesome, other than having you on, was just a lot of amazing people hopped in the chat. I mean, so shout out to all the chatters that had the pleasure of coming on here. We had a lot of fun on the stream, a lot more fun than I anticipated originally, and it's been a lot of fun having you on, Lawrence. Before we get going, anything else you want to bring up or say or get off your chest? It could be about anything.
Just thank you to you, sincerely, Bashar. I want to say that you have an excellent channel, man. You have really been doing your thing. I check you out not only here, but the way you promote on Instagram. Salute to you, man. We're glad to be on your channel live right now. Someone who inspired me to start YouTube when the CMC, and we got to call him that, I guess, huh, folks, because he has his name as long as hell. But to be on with you when the news breaks, man, wouldn't rather be anywhere else. So thank you for the seat, and thank you to the faithful for keeping this stream live. You guys were excellent in the comments. I sincerely appreciate everybody shouting it out, Bashar, and really just chilling with us today. Stay calm. We're about to get things cracking. As you can see, Kyle and John are not messing around. Kyle wants a little bit less of that gray hair on his face, apparently. He wants to have some better days. and Kyle,
you can always use Just for Men, man.
You can always see, he needs some Just for Men and some Rogaine or something. Whatever magic marker or less stress, one of the four, but maybe he gets that now that we have Christian. I wanted to say, if you enjoy, thank you, watch us again. Hopefully I can be on your channel again, and if you're looking out for my channel, I'm right here on YouTube, platform 246, just like you see it next to my name. We cover Niners, we cover, of course, wrestling, and we cover pretty much anything that's going on, and I'll definitely get some videos up on there about Christian as soon as possible.
That's true. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun offense to watch. We all know we talk about James and how he makes things irritating, but I think we're gonna have some fun now. We should, at least. John Lynch, shout to John Lynch. He retweeted my show just a few minutes ago and said Lance, Debo, and CMC in the backfield.
That's gonna be crazy.
Will be nightmares.
Lance, Debo, and CMC.
In theory,
next year.
It better be. And I'm really hyped up for this Lance. Still hyped up for this Lance stuff. I don't care what anybody says. They can hate all they want. Thank you, Lawrence. We're coming on from platform 246. For those of you guys that are not subscribed to Lawrence, check him out. He's I have all his social media in the description box of this video. Map Crow has something to say. He says the Panthers were also in deep talks with the Rams about trading McCaffrey draft days 2 selections before agreeing to send to the Niners, according to Ian Rappaport. Interesting, very, very interesting. Usually the Rams make moves like this. Usually the Rams make moves like this, and this time we made the move instead. So
shout out to the team.
It's been a shocker. We're all speechless. We're all at a loss for words. I'm trying to wrap this show up, but again, all this crazy stuff to talk about. It's been nuts. Thank you, Lawrence. Check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Thank you, all you wonderful people in the chat. It's been a lot of fun on the stream. Thank you guys for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. So keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Peace. Come on, 49er faithful, let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind.
49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yeah, area. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside.